First up, Marcus, Russia's President Vladimir Putin wants to show the country is open for business.
Yes, he wants to indeed. Hi there, Claire. Hi there, everyone. The Russian president has pledged to support the oil firm Shell, and he did it in a very public manner in front of TV cameras, meeting with the Anglo-Dutch company's chief executive. Shell wants to expand a natural gas project in Russia's Far East to hike up oil, gas exports, I should say, to Asia. The EU and the US have imposed sanctions against dozens of Russian and Ukrainian officials and investors. They've pulled billions of dollars from Russia on fears that the economy will take a hit. Recent surveys from Russia also show that business confidence is at its lowest level since 2008.
The entire project will have the most positive influence on further expansion of Russia's presence on the world energy markets. It will stimulate the economy on the whole and our energy sector. I congratulate you and all our partners.
Next, smartphone app Uber says it's not rolling back its European expansion plans. That's despite losing several key legal cases this week. The app allows users to find a ride with their smartphones. Its growing popularity alongside similar services has sparked anger among regular taxi drivers in Europe. They say they're not competing on a level playing field. Delana De Souza has more.
The pressure is mounting on Uber in Europe. The app that links customers to private taxi drivers has lost 2 court cases in less than a week. On Tuesday, a court in Brussels cleared the way for a €10,000 fine on Uber drivers caught chauffeuring clients within the city. And then on Thursday, Berlin's Taxi Association won an injunction against the service. It banned Uber from doing business in Berlin via its smartphone app. Taxis there say Uber drivers have not been playing by the rules.
It's moonlighting. It must be emphasized again and again. These people don't pay anything. No taxes will be paid. Even insurance is not respected.
Uber has also faced hurdles in the French capital. Taxis in Paris have gone on strike over the increased competition. They say it's unfair Uber drivers don't have to spend as much as €200,000 for taxi licenses, and they've called on the French government to help. Uber says it's not going anywhere and that current regulations will simply have to change.
We are looking at regulations, and the regulation of the transport industry have been set in place in most countries decades ago, even before internet existed. And so it is definitely time to kind of think how a regulation can embrace innovation and can embrace ride-sharing, because guess what? Ride-sharing is here to stay.
The company says it will appeal the court's decision in both Berlin and Brussels.
OK, let's bring you a snapshot of a few other stories that we're watching for you. The United States is delaying a decision on building a controversial pipeline between Canada and the Mexican Gulf. The US State Department has extended a reflection period, which means a decision is unlikely before the midterm election in November. The Keystone Pipeline is seen as an economic boon, but there are concerns of its environmental impact. The Canadian government says it's disappointed by the US State Department move. Staying in the oil sector, oil exports from Iran have risen dramatically. An Iranian government spokesman says exports have almost doubled in 8 months to 1.2 million barrels per day. The increase follows the election last June of President Hassan Rouhani. It comes ahead of expected talks with Western powers over Iran's nuclear program next month. Western sanctions have hit oil exports hard, and they've tumbled from 2.5 million barrels per day in 2011. And the board of the Italian bank Monte dei Paschi di Siena has given the go-ahead to a plan to raise €5 billion. The lender will be selling new shares, hoping to avoid a nationalisation. The bank needs to pay back a €4 billion loan from the Italian government by year-end. The lender accepted that loan last year to stave off bankruptcy. OK, we're going to finish up with some pictures right here from France. It is Easter after all, and we're going to be taking a look at, well, some pictures for chocolate lovers. Should we just call it that? These are creations made by some of France's top chefs when it comes to chocolate. Easter is big business for chocolate makers in this country, as around 5% of all sales happen during the holiday. French people consume more than 4 kilos of chocolate every year. That's not that much, though, in comparison to Germany and the UK. Germans consume, on average, 7.5 kilos of chocolate every year, and Brits, 11 kilos of chocolate every year. 11 kilos, not too bad. And with that, I'm going to send it back to you, Claire.
Everything in moderation, Marcus, everything in moderation. Thank you very much, Marcus Cosman, for that roundup of the business news. And now it's time for Media Watch. James Creedon joins me. Hello, James.
Good evening, Claire.
You're going to start us off with